Hey guys, Dan the Movie Man here, and today I'm going to be giving you a review of Logan Lucky. Logan Lucky was released this past year and was one of my most anticipated films of 2017. I mean, just look at it, directed by Steven Soderbergh. It has an amazing cast: Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Daniel Craig, who's one of my favorite actors. It's just such a rich cast, and the movie is phenomenal. But before I get too in-depth on it, I do want to say there are spoilers. I will be spoiling the movie a little bit. I don't know how in-depth I'll spoil it, so that's just a little warning to you. But this movie was awesome. Basically, the center of this movie is about these two brothers, right? Well, one of them, played by Channing Tatum, he gets fired from his job. And, he has a daughter, a little girl, and he wants custody of her, and it's this whole thing. And so he devises a plan to rob Charlotte Motor Speedway, and of course he has this whole list of plans and ideas and stuff, and his brother's involved, but they need some expert. So they go to a prison or a jail. It's never explicitly said which it is, I don't think, to get a vault breaker named Joe Bang, played by Daniel Craig. And so they devise this crazy plan. Of course, things go wrong. They're supposed to do it on one of the lowest points of the year, and instead, the construction site Jimmy Logan worked at is going to be finished soon, and that's their way into the stadium. So they move up their plan, and they ended up having to do it on the busiest day of the year, the Coca-Cola 600. And one thing I love about this movie is there's not too much setup. I mean, there is setup, but the setup is very smart. It's very good, and it's not too long. Like 40 minutes into the movie, the heist is going down. It's going down, and it's awesome. Everybody has their own jobs, Daniel Craig's character makes an explosive out of gummy bears in this. It's crazy. And let's talk, before I get too into that though, let's talk about the setup in this movie. I mean, they give a cake to this woman who works there, and they hit her car, so she's distracted and has to leave. The cake gets locked in the vault. They put different colored cockroaches in different tubes, and then when they see the, I think it was pink cockroaches that found the cake, they know which tube goes to that vault. And I thought, well, that's insanely smart, right? And then there's their sister always eggs on the husband of Jimmy Logan's ex-wife, so that he eventually brings this car that she can hotwire and use to pick up Clyde and Joe. And Clyde gets himself arrested to get in with Joe, and they hatch a plan where they escape from the prison but are unnoticed because the other prisoners start a riot in the kitchen and puts the entire facility on lockdown. It's crazy. And they sneak back into jail later after the job's done. And the craziest thing is that after the job's done, they don't get the money. So they leave the truck, and someone picks up all the money. And you're thinking like, well, what the hell is this? What's going on, right? Well, it's revealed that was all a part of the Logan's plan. They didn't let anybody else in on it, and they actually did end up keeping a good amount of money. But then there's these federal officers that are coming after him and everything, and this movie is so funny. I mean, this movie's hilarious. It has a good payoff, a great ending. I love the ending of this movie, and which, everyone kind of lives happily ever after in the ending, but even though the case was closed, the federal agent is there at the bar, and that's how the movie ends. But everything in this movie, from small things like Seth MacFarlane plays a real dick of a character in this movie, and he works very well. Sebastian Stan plays a racer in this movie, and he's not in the movie a lot, but he plays it very well. Hilary Swank plays the FBI agent, and once again, not in the movie a lot, but she plays that character very well. Daniel Craig showed his acting range in this movie. Man, did he. Daniel Craig is, I'm used to seeing him play very sophisticated kind of characters. Obviously, he plays James Bond, who has that smooth British accent, but he's also, played in other roles like Layer Cake and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and all these other fantastic movies. But he really, like, he when he made he turned to 180. Like, he went from suave, sophisticated characters to a southern redneck bank vault bomber, I guess is what you could call him. And he's great at it. He nails the character. Kind of crazy, kind of kooky, really funny, and extremely smart. He is very smart. And he's got these two brothers that are kind of comic relief, kind of hicks. But they're pretty smart too. Not street smarts, but book smart. Both very, very good. And they bring up a lot of good moments. There's a moment when the Jimmy Logan's trying to recruit Joe Bang's brothers, that they're like, we're going to need a moral reason to rob the Speedway. And he brings up that, their sister used to work for the company that's hosting the event, and the one of the managers felt her up and she ended up getting fired. And they're like, well, that just ain't right, we'll help you. And then later on, when it gets switched to the Coca-Cola 600, they're like, we're stealing from NASCAR. NASCAR didn't do anything to us. It's like we're stealing from America. And I mean, this movie is so quotable too. One of my favorite parts is Jimmy gets into a fight at his brother's bar. And basically, as he's leaving the bar, he says cauliflower. And you see Clyde's eyes get wide, and he's like, what did you just say? And the next morning, he wakes up, and Jimmy's cooked breakfast, and he's like, last night you said the word cauliflower to me. Last time you said that, I ended up in juvie. And it's just, it works. And the whole reason he listens to him is because he made breakfast. And you see a list on his fridge that lists the entire plan. And it mentions shit happens, real life shit happens again. It's all over. Don't get, what was it? Don't get greedy was also on there. And this movie was, I love this movie. I wish I would have saw it in theaters, but there was just so many releases that I didn't get a chance to see it in theaters. But I got it on Blu-ray, and it was fantastic. It was crazy because it's one of the first movies I felt I need to watch it immediately, the next day after I watched it the first time, and I did, and it was great. But if you have not seen Logan Lucky, I would definitely recommend you watching this. It's one of my favorite films of 2017. I really wish I would have got to it in theaters, and I think you would all enjoy it. So, on a scale from, I'd say, 0% to 100%, I would give Logan Lucky an 89%. Definitely worth you guys checking out. And you know what? I think Steven Soderbergh is back, guys. So let me know what you guys think of Logan Lucky. Have you seen it? If you did you like it? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.